Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. I'm Stephanie Fisher. I'm a licensed counselor here in the state of Michigan, and I am owner and operator of In Progress Counseling. Over the last couple weeks, and for a few weeks here yet, we are using an extended analogy of what it means to thoroughly digest and metabolize something that is new for us, maybe something that's upsetting, something that's a change that we didn't sign up for, a significant loss that we've experienced, a transition that we're going through. It can really take a while for the stressor to become a part of the story. And to a degree, we're talking about something that's maybe factual. Maybe we buffer ourselves from it, we resist it, and then over time we start to go through the process of absorbing it. And so today we're going to talk about what it means. Last week we said chewing, and this week we're going to say swallowing. What does it mean to swallow this new understanding? What was so interesting this last week in my own personal therapy, my therapist invited me into doing EMDR for the first time. So I'm not an EMDR practitioner and I've never experienced it myself. And so this was my first experience of doing kind of that bilateral brain stimulation that's supposed to help process and or reprocess a traumatic memory. And so as we're going through that and we're doing the process of going deeper and deeper into the experience and trying to really digest and put language to the emotions, she asked me at one point, probably 30 minutes into the activity, she said, where are you experiencing the emotions? And I said, it's still up in my neck. And over the next few minutes, I was able to say, I can feel myself swallowing, and I can feel it kind of like going down deeper into my being, into my person. And that was really interesting to experience, both the metaphoric and for me, the literal process of swallowing something that's really quite difficult to deal with. And so we were going into a very specific trauma memory and trying to sort through, what did that cost me? What were the adaptations? What was that experience like for me? What resources do I need now as I go back into kind of reimagining that experience? And the swallowing was so literal. It was very interesting. Now, one of the reasons for me that might be true is I'm a high intellectualizer. That's just where I spend a lot of my time. And even as we were processing the memory, she said, what's happening in you right now? And I said, well, I can feel myself going up into my head. That's where I go. That's where I experience relief. And so to get something to go down into my body, that's actually the challenge for me personally. And so the swallowing it was so metaphoric of taking something from my mind and letting it kind of go through into deeper parts or different parts of the psyche. So letting it kind of go through the system, go through the body, letting it be there without retreating and going back up into my head, which is my preferred strategy, right? One of the things that I am doing in my dissertation practice right now, so kind of the study and research arm of the work that I do, is looking at defense mechanisms specifically. And so this is an interesting conversation to be having while I'm doing that part of investigation, understanding how often our defense mechanisms disallow the swallowing. So our defense mechanisms are going to really try to buffer any type of emotional taxation, emotional distress, emotional overwhelm. And in the short term, that's actually not problematic. Defense mechanisms are adaptive structures. They become maladaptive when we rely on it past the point of its usefulness, and or it doesn't allow us or let us deal with reality. The swallowing metaphorically is so taxing to let something be true. Think of that. I can resist that it's true. I can create a false reality that's actually something sometimes our brains even help us with. But to use that M. Scott Peck quote of mental health is an ongoing commitment to reality at all costs, it means swallowing the hard stuff. It means as I'm sitting there thinking through this thing that I don't want to be true, I just let it start to kind of go through the system, understanding I don't like it, but also understanding I don't have to resist it. And in fact, long-term resistance can turn into psychopathology. It can turn into maladaptive strategies that actually have steep emotional and clinical mental health implications. The invitation today is thinking through the swallowing component. It's kind of, I'm not even just chewing it, but now I'm letting it start to go through the system. Really difficult work, also incredibly important work for me to get to the next place in the digestion process, or the formation of this new experience becoming a part of my story. Swallowing is an imperative step.